Tasmapi anubhavena Svenaiva vaptaradhase Dharma eva matim dattva Tridashaste divam yayo Tasma api anubhavena Shvenaiva vaptaradhase Dharma eva madim dattva Tridajaste divam yayu Tasma api anubhavena Svenaiva vaptadhase Dharma eva matim dattva Tridashaste devam yayu Tasmai unto him Daksha Api even Anubhavena by worshipping the Supreme Lord Svena by his own Eva certainly Abhaptaradhase having attained perfection Dharme in religion Eva certainly Matim intelligence Dattva having given Tridasha demigods Te those Devam to the heavenly planets Yayu went. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Bhaya Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Thus, worshipping the Supreme Lord Vishnu by ritualistic performance of sacrifice, Daksha was completely situated on the religious path. Moreover, all the demigods who had assembled at the sacrifice blessed him that he might increase his piety, and then they left. Purport. Although Daksha was considerably advanced in religious principles, he awaited the blessings of the demigods. Thus, the great sacrifice conducted by Daksha ended in harmony and peace. Om Namo Om Agyana Tirmandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuru Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manubhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Yam praprajantam anapetam apeta krityam dvaipayano viraha katarajuhava putreti tanmayatayo taravo benedus tam sarva bhota hridayam munimanatosmi Namo Vishnu Krishna Prasarvati Samati Bhakti Vyanka Samati Bhakti Vyanka Samati Okay, one more time the verse, because sometimes we forget it after Mangalacharana. Thus, worshipping the Supreme Lord Vishnu by ritualistic performance of sacrifice, Daksha was completely situated on the religious path. Moreover, all the demigods who had assembled at the sacrifice blessed him that he might increase his piety, and then they left. Hare Krishna. Good morning, everybody. So, last time we talked, we gave a brief summary on the last, it's not even a summary, it's just the storytelling of the last 7 chapters. The story of Sati Devi, who Vidura was quite he was asking Maitreya Muni what is actually the reason for this story, and Maitreya Muni, who is speaking in these chapters or since the previous canto also, he was telling this story how we came to this point, what happened or what is actually the story that made Sati Devi leave her body. And this is the last verses from all of this chapter, let's call it this story of the 4th canto of the Bhagavatam. So in this verse is not much said by Srila Prabhupada on it, which gives us a challenge to say something on it for a long time. But anyway, the points that I actually felt that can be talked about are how Daksha, after all of these difficulties, after all what he has been through, he got eventually the proper consciousness which allowed him to perform the yajna. And in that consciousness, the results were different from the first yajna. So the first yajna, we know how it ended due to his improper behavior. He got bad reactions, he got his head cut, and then now he has not suddenly, but after some incidents, he has the head of a goat, and genau, braucht auch Übersetzung, der Jan Prabhu. Ja, kannst du dich ruhig näher setzen? Ja, vielleicht, wenn ihr tauscht, dass du in der Mitte sitzt. That's a good idea, Brian, but not everybody understood it. So now with this new head of a goat and this new consciousness, his behavior is more proper that even Vishnu appears as a result of this sacrifice. And after the appearance of Vishnu, the demigods, the Gandharvas, the different assembled living entities are offering obeisances, offering nice prayers to the Lord. So now Daksha, he continues his sacrifice, which he started long ago, in this new circumstances, let's say, and he's being blessed by the sages, by the assembled sages, that he might increase his piety, and then they left. So the point here that we can talk about is actually the blessings which he received from the demigods, the sages, and in one sense the blessings of the seniors as well. So, and why it is so important and should never be forgotten, because actually the blessings of the devotees and especially of the seniors is something that is inevitable, that's something that we cannot advance in our spiritual life without it. And in one sense, we have to be expecting it or striving after it. Of course, we do not expect anything from devotees and from the senior devotees, but if we are allowed to expect anything, is actually to expect the blessings. And we can only expect them if we have the proper behavior. So it is said in the laws of Manu, there are one who respects his seniors gains 4 things. He attains 4 things. The first one is Ayu. Ayu means life duration. It's okay, bin ich so schnell oder so langsam oder so viel Dialekt? Okay, so the first one is Ayu. Ayu means life duration. And when one that's a good sign. When one gets the blessings, it means he live long to do more good things. And the second one, maybe you can remember something, Brian? Yeah? Okay, tell us what's the second. You don't remember? Okay, then I have to look at my notes now if you don't remember. The second one is Dharma. We all know what Dharma means. In this context, it means that the understanding for the spiritual law. So one gains this behavior of dharmic behavior, you could say. And the third one, or I can't remember the fourth one for sure, and I don't know if the order is relevant, is Bala. Bala means strength, or in this sense, spiritual strength. And the fourth one, or the third point, is Yasha. And Yasha means glory. So one who receives the blessings of one who respects the seniors, and as a result gets their blessings, he gets Ayu, life duration. Somebody? Dharma, spiritual laws. Bala, spiritual strength, and Yasha, glory. This is from Manu, the Dharma laws, the laws of Manu. So, and there is a nice story about how Yudhishthir Maharaj, before the battle started, he could not start the battle without getting the blessings first of the seniors. So, being barefoot or bare feet, running barefoot towards the other side, he ran. It's a sign of humility, running barefoot on the battlefield towards the other side, the so-called enemy side. Wanted to ask for the blessings of Bhishmadev and Dronacharya, his teacher, and he bowed down to them and asked them for their blessings that he may win the war. Quite interesting, right? Like, I'm fighting against you, I'm going to ask for your blessings, let me win. And they blessed him. Bhishmadev told him, you will win, don't worry. So it is never to be underestimated, actually, the power of blessings. And it is a thing which is quite, or not quite easily, theoretically easily to obtain from the seniors. Because if we are humble, if we approach the seniors in the proper mood, then they cannot help but actually bless us. I mean, blessing, like Akira Prabhu often quotes, one of our seniors also, who we always ask for his blessings. He quotes that, I'm not sure if he's quoting Prabhupada, but he's saying, blessing meaning to think good of others. So if you want to bless someone, it's not like you sit and you meditate, may you be blessed. Maybe you do this, but ultimately when we just are favorable towards someone, when we just think good of them, like I remember someone, I see his nice attitude and I just smile from inside. That in itself is actually bestowing blessings upon the object. So when you approach actually the seniors in a humble way, they cannot help but bless us. There is no other option. Like imagine yourself, you're sitting and somebody comes to you with genuine humility, with a kind mood, and he's coming to you and just talking to you in this humble, nice way, and completely full of respect. And that's already enough to melt our heart, actually. And that is what we need to cultivate, that mood that which will help others or not help others, force others in some way that they are favorable towards us and get their blessings. So, and there is different kinds of respect that can be actually offered toward others, living entities. So there is the first kind of respect called priti. Priti means love. So it is respect that is coming out of love. Simple, right? You love someone, you respect them. I mean, maybe you cannot love someone before you respect them, but that's a different topic. And the second kind of respect is niti. And that means that, priti, niti, and I just look at it. It's better than to speculate, no? Yeah, priti, niti, and riti. And niti is kind of a respect that we do out of duty. So with intelligence, we know this person should be respected, and we respect them. You can say it's a moral principle. Actually, it is morals. With understanding of the laws and how the culture should be, we respect others. And the third one is riti, and riti in this context means ritual. Ritam means actually ritual. So riti is kind of a formality. Okay, he is temple commander, he is a king, he has a high position, so I offer him respect. And it's not we're saying different grades or something, that's, you could say the different types or the different motives for respect. And the last one, I heard something interesting about it, this riti, that this respect which is out of formality, it is actually important. It's not like, oh, he just respects him because of formality. No. But a person, for example, the example which was given is respect we offer to a king, for example. The king, he may be, especially nowadays, he may be faulty, but still he needs to be respected. Why? Because he is in that position. So actually what we respect in that sense is the status, is the position of that person. And regardless of the imperfection, regardless of the behavior, regardless of our, maybe we don't like him or her for his character, for his behavior, still he or she needs to be respected being in a position, like a teacher. You just respect a teacher. I mean, I remember when the teacher used to go inside in the classroom, we used to stand up. Maybe most of the countries do it. Definitely the Eastern countries, like in India. We stand up and the teacher says, "Good morning, kids." And we're like, "Good," like an army almost. "Good morning, teacher. How are you?" "Fine, thank you." "And you?" "Thank you." "Sit down." And sit down. So this is already respect out of formality, right? Okay. Sometimes, I was so sleepy and I don't want to stand up. I don't want to wish you a good morning. I just want, to finish as soon as possible and go to the breakfast break or to the lunch break. But still, respect must be there. In some other countries, like I heard in Israel, when the teacher goes in, the children just remain seated with, foot on the table almost. And there is not this. It's culture again. I'm not criticizing, although it sounds like I am. But it is a difference of culture. This mood or this culture was simply not cultivated everywhere. And of course, anyway, it was not cultivated everywhere. And that's the point I wanted to talk about next, actually, in a culture of respect, which is the name of the seminar I made these notes on. So please don't give any credit to whatever you hear, these quotes or these stories. It's a seminar which we do in our pre-initiation course, let's call it. And this is a seminar given by His Holiness Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj. And the name of the seminar is From Respect to Love. Because ultimately love is our goal, right? We want to reach love for Krishna and love towards his devotees, since these two things are inseparable. But we think that we can make a shortcut without having actually the proper attitude and the respect. So a culture of respect is a culture which is inducive to our spiritual nature. A culture of respect is a natural environment which will help us practice bhakti easier or easily. Really, very, very easy. If there is this atmosphere of appreciation, of respect towards each other, then it becomes Jai Shri Shri Prabhu Lakshmi Shingadev Bhagavan Ki. I have to comment something. It's always sweet when you see the pujaris dressing the Lord, and for example, it's Sunday, so it's more of a Saturn day. No, is it not Saturn? Sorry. Sunday. It's a Sunday. It's a Sunday, so the color is more fiery or red, and sometimes it's Friday. Our dear Nandimukhi Mataji likes to dress the Lord sometimes with a violet color, or no, purple purple. And it's always sweet to see the pujari dressing the same color of sari or dhoti as the Lord. It's just, you see you see relationship. Like we are dressed together. Today we are dressed the same, like a match together. Yeah, so beautiful. So the culture of respect, it is a place where practicing bhakti can be done with less anxiety. What does anxiety mean? So anxiety is said to be the main enemy of yoga. So yoga means union. Okay? Sorry, I'm acting like I'm talking slowly, so just I can put some water, but I usually don't talk slowly. So union with the Supreme, that's what the meaning of the word yoga is, and that's what we are doing every day. In case you have noticed, we are trying to unite ourselves, our consciousness, our hearts with the Lord, and an environment which helps us to practice yoga, for example, is an environment where there are the least amount of distractions. So what does that mean for us? Distractions. How can you be distracted from practicing bhakti? Can somebody give an example? What distracts you from chanting with so much love and faith and ultimately a calm mind? Please, we have a microphone and you can share so I can drink water.
No, I was just... Haribol? Oh, it's working. I was just thinking emotions, for example, material motions, motives, desires.
Desires distract you from yoga.
Yes, because it's different kinds of desires. I mean, specific desires, material desires distract you, for example.
Yeah, sure. You said everything. Come on, leave something for the others. That's like the summum bonum of all the distractions. Why are you distracted? Oh, I just have different desires. I mean, if you the reason I wanted to give is being distracted by being annoyed by somebody, for example. That's already distracting us, right? Like somebody does something that offends you, and that already ruins your japa for the next, 7 days or something. But in an environment where there is this harmony, then it's easier for us, right? But ultimately what you said is correct, because why am I offended by somebody? Why am I annoyed by somebody? Because he is a hindrance towards my desire to enjoy. So ultimately it is my desire to enjoy, and somebody is stopping it. Whatever is in the way of my enjoyment, that is already disturbing. So one of the reasons for this anxiety that may stink in the atmosphere is actually Hare Krishna, welcome. Is actually ignorance. So Guru Maharaj is giving 2 reasons for this anxiety. The first one is ignorance, and the second one is so-called alien environment. So ignorance, we all know what ignorance means. Lack of knowledge. The more ignorant you are, the more anxiety you have. Can you relate to this? Due to the lack of knowledge, due to fear of the past or of the future, we are fear. The more ignorant we are, the more we lack knowledge, spiritual knowledge and realizations, the more fearful we are, because we don't see the Lord in the whole picture. We just, Krishna is somewhere else. And out of our consciousness. And when Krishna is out of our consciousness, that is called false ignorance. And in that state, we are anxious, afraid. The second reason is alien environment, and that's our connecting point to respect, and the culture of respect. An alien environment is an environment, again, which is hostile to the nature of the soul. And an environment which is hostile to the nature of the soul, it means hostile to the nature of the soul, it means that it's not helping our nature, the nature of the soul, the nature of respect and love and appreciation to flourish. So being in an environment where these principles are not there, these dharmic principles, this sadachar, sadachar means the good behavior. When it's not there in the atmosphere, it is called an alien environment, an environment where we are simply distracted. The example was given actually from Devaki Mataji in Bangladesh, and Bangladesh, being a very cultural country, Bangladesh, people are quite simple-hearted, and people are quite respectful towards each other, and that's why it is easier to practice Bhakti Yoga there, because being in a natural environment, it becomes just simply less distractions and more favorable towards our practice. Being in an environment, let's imagine a loud city. What is the loud city first comes to your mind? Berlin, New York, Delhi. Yeah, but that's like Kirtan in Delhi. Yeah, being in such an environment, we're talking more about the culture, not about the disciples' loudness. It is simply difficult to concentrate, not to be distracted. And if you want to apply this principle on a small community, like the community we're living in of 20, 30 devotees, then when there is natural atmosphere of respect towards each other, then it's all fine, I don't have a problem in japa or whatever in doing seva. When there is some kind of enmity or envy, then it's quite difficult to practice. And envy is actually the reason for lack of respect ultimately. But Narottama Das Thakur, he says that out of the 6 enemies, lust, anger, greed, illusion, pride, and so on, kama, lobha, moha, matsarya. Matsarya, envy, is the only one which cannot be employed in the service of the Lord. So even anger can be employed in the service of the Lord, right? We have here Hanuman ji standing on the altar, and he represented this mood of serving the Lord in anger. Temple commander might take advantage of this. Be careful. Writing down, huh? Check. But envy, matsarya, cannot be employed in the service of the Lord. And the remedy for envy is? Yes, respectful service. The remedy towards envy is respect. Respect means that you do not envy somebody. Respect means that you don't want to bring somebody down. Respect means that you want to push somebody towards Krishna. Like literally, grab him from the back, put him in front of the altar, and tell Krishna, here, this is your servant. Sing. Prabhu, sing for the Lord. So this is our mood. Actually, this is Gaudiya Vaishnavism. Our tradition, Vaishnavism, is one of the little religions, or maybe the only so-called religion, which is giving priority to the worship of others above the worship of the Lord. No? So, like in all other religions, is stressed that God is my highest object of worship. In our tradition, it is worshipping the servant of God is better than worshipping God himself. And for some people that may sound complete nonsense, because there is nothing higher than God. How can you respect, how can you worship? You cannot even use the word worship toward anything other than God. But in our philosophy, no, actually, the energy of God is even helping us coming closer towards our nature more than God himself. Meaning, approaching the energy of God is an easier way to make spiritual advancement than approaching God himself. What's the translation that Prabhupada gave to the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra? O dear energy of the Lord, please engage me in your loving devotional service. Please engage me in the service of Rama and Krishna. So, just a short story about this. To stress this point, for example, Mother Yashoda was breastfeeding Krishna. And I don't know if there is imagine if there is something higher than this, that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the source of everything, is sitting in your lap, you're giving him your love, and that's, in one sense, the perfection of life. Suddenly, the milk boils. The milk is boiling, and she leaves this child, who is the highest, sweetest thing that we could never imagine, and she puts him aside to go take care of her milk, Mother Yashoda. Is there any logic to this? Like, really, are you leaving now Krishna, who came as your child, to go take care of the milk? And your husband, he has 900,000 cows. You are worried about a pot of milk which is screaming in the kitchen, because, in the spiritual world, everything is a person. And the acharyas are saying the milk was screaming. In our understanding, the milk was boiling. Maybe there was these, what do you call them, whistlers on the top, on the pot. And when it boils, it's like, pew. But I don't know what did the milk say, but in that context, the milk is a person. And he was screaming that, hey, I'm boiling here. Come before I make a mess all over the stove. And Mother Yashoda, she ran. She put Krishna away and she ran to take care of the milk. So, the moral of this funny story is that Mother Yashoda gave importance to the milk more than Krishna. Although Krishna is the origin of all, maintainer of all the cows, the origin of all milk, and the whole universe. But still, out of respect, out of giving importance to the energy of the Lord, she left Krishna aside and ran for it. Okay, maybe Krishna didn't react maturely toward this and started kicking around and running around, and the whole Damodara Leela started here, no? So, that's the moral of the story. Respect towards the energy of God. So, that's technically everything I wanted to say. Yes, please. Actually, I wanted to open a space for discussion and we do a small exercise, but very happy to take... No problem. You can also sit in the front if you like.
Yeah, it's fine.
Sure.
So, it's fine. So, one point when you are talking about Lord Hanuman, I'm actually from South India. And my forefathers were towards the devotional, and what my father used to tell about each god. Like example, when we are dealing with Lakshmi Narasimha Swami, he is so powerful that when you are in stress or some issues, when you pray Lord Lakshmi Narasimha Swami or Simhachalam Narasimha Swami, your enemies get reduced. Your enemies get reduced.
Your enemies get reduced.
When you pray Lakshmi Narasimha Swami. When you pray Hanuman, he will give you a willpower.
Yes.
So you are exactly telling the same. So Hanuman will help you if you have a, I lost somewhere, but the meaning is like if you have something bad or something stress or something in power, you said you have to respect, and Hanuman is doing the same. He will give us a willpower which will take us to the next level, or without fear. You are telling like I lost the exact words, but it's like if we are not stepping, means we are anxiety, or we are having fear to do one step because of past or future, and that's why we pray Lord Hanuman. Yes, he gives a willpower. That's what my parents used to teach us. Along with this, Durga Devi is the most powerful woman for the universe. Praying her is also a powerful thing which gives a boost for everyone. That's what my parents used to tell me and what I follow till now. I have one question. So you are telling the example of Yashoda when Lord Krishna, and comparing with the milk. Similarly, God don't come in front of us, but he sends some of friends, give them a power to help us when we are in difficulties. That's what I believe. In that situation, how do we, or how should we differentiate that? Is it a real help or is it something misleading? This was
those who are sent by God, you mean?
Yes, something. So when I'm in trouble or something, I stand in front of God and say, hey, I am in trouble, I need some solution. And I know God will send the answer when one or the other person or some of the other messages. And how should I know which is the correct one? This is a long-standing question for me, but I'm not sure if I can ask here or not.
Of course you can ask here, but don't expect the right answer
exactly
from me.
No, I mean, this was a question when you said...
It's a very good question.
Because the Yashoda gave priority to milk compared to Krishna because she don't know Krishna was a Lord at that time.
Yes, that's a good point.
How should we differentiate?
Yes, that's a good point, because thank you so much for your question. It is a question that has been often asked by sincere souls. Thank you so much. What's your good name, Prabhu? Lokesh. Please take a pillow. So, how could Mother Yashoda understand that actually now it is the right thing to do to put Krishna aside and go attend to the milk? How can I know if this is just some kind of maybe it's just something not a priority at the moment or not important, and we may be not put in the same position, but similar example when we are trying to do our duty, try to fulfill our duty, and then we are maybe faced by some difficulty or by a challenge. And of course God is everywhere and He's communicating to us always. So how do I know that God in this moment now is talking to me, is communicating to me, helping me? Or how do I know that this is another situation arranged by the material energy or Maya, like we say in our philosophy, that is actually not going to help me towards God? Yeah, we can I paraphrase the question like this? Yeah, like you said, it's like when you are in this mentality, you are praying for the Lord to help you find the right, attitude and the right answer. And while you were asking your question, I was also praying that I can find the right answer or say something that could help you also. I like sometimes when I'm not so immediately inspired to give an answer, like when I'm not 100% sure of give a proper answer, like to ask the devotees who are around, and sometimes they may give a hint. So, anybody has to say something about this?
Sorry, don't think me wrong. This was a question what I have since many years.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find an answer. I'm just putting my...
Yeah, that's like maybe not a doubt, but it is something which I may not have a clear understanding of, and we are just talking about it loud, and that already in itself helps. I once had an experience with a senior devotee, and I told the senior devotee that, I don't want actually to endeavor much in attaining a certain thing, which, I'm not going into details now. I think I would just wait for Krishna to send me an answer and to send me, the sign that this is the right thing to do. And this devotee said, oh, no, Krishna will not send you an answer. Maya will come to you and will grab you. So, in that sense, what first comes to my mind, which also I like to talk about often, how Krishna is actually the Lord sitting within our hearts and within every living entity's heart and within every atom, every tree, every living entity is talking with us. And He's constantly communicating with us. Ishvara sarva bhutanam khriddishi arjuna tishtati. So the Lord is situated in every living entities. Mata smritir jnanam apohanam cha. Mata smritir jnanam apohanam. So smriti, knowledge, or remembrance, jnanam, knowledge, and apohanam, and forgetfulness are coming from the Lord. If the Lord wants to give us in this moment knowledge, remembrance, or forgetfulness, which can be good sometimes, it is arranged by the Lord. Why? Because He is situated within our hearts. And not only within our hearts, within other people's hearts. That means that any person, regardless of his or her or its nature, its covering, its body, can actually, Krishna, the Lord, Ishvara, can talk with us through him or her or it, if we are talking about a tree. And the story given here is like this, the story of the Bhāgavatam, the 24 gurus, where somebody has taken shelter of different gurus. According to our philosophy, there we accept one guru. And the idea of accepting different gurus is in itself may externally sound wrong and kind of impersonal. But in this sense, this story, which is very important story to everybody, to everyone who wants to see the presence of God everywhere, because ultimately that is our goal, to remember Krishna always. And you can remember Krishna always if you see His touch in every living entity. So this Avadhuta Brahmana who was traveling around, he was taking teaching of the tree, of the different objects of the material world, of the earth, how it is tolerant, of the python, how is he sitting down, of his body, how it is temporary, and so on. And he could actually see the Lord teaching him and talking to him, communicating to him, only because he had the proper consciousness. So when we are what we say Krishna conscious, when we are God conscious, and in remembrance of God, in constant remembrance of the Supreme and praying towards Him, then it is much more likely to hear Him in our lives than anything else. So when I'm offered a certain path in life, may it be a small decision or a big decision, should I now going to the prasad room, should I take khichdi or should I take porridge? Or a bigger life decision, should I live here or there? Should I work in this job or that job? Should I be with this person or not with this person? We should always ask this question before making a decision, because usually the mind is liking something and disliking something. And as soon as we are offered with an opportunity, I have a very nice job offer in Munich, gaining 10,000 euros, and that cannot be bad. I immediately go for that. And we go there, maybe I'll be happy materially, but my spiritual life, my connection with the Lord goes down. And that was, in one sense, or in the ultimate sense, not the right decision. And it can be also a good decision. Maybe I go and, who knows, open a temple or do a great seva, do a great service to the Lord. But whatever decision we need to make, we need to be thoughtful. And we need to ask. And our approach method is we ask the sadhus, we ask the guru, the spiritual master, we ask the sadhus, those who are advanced in spiritual science, and Shastra, of course. Shastra is actually the laws that are moving this universe, that are guiding this universe. And if something is against Shastra or not in harmony with Shastra, we reject. Even if it's the guru or the sadhu. Whatever they say actually should be to some extent in accordance with the Shastra. So, again, I'm just repeating myself, in every situation in our life, in every confusion in our life, in every difficulty and challenge in our life, somehow or the other, it is being arranged by the Lord, because not a blade of grass is moving without the supreme desire, right? Somehow or the other, we need to remember the Lord. Somehow or the other, we need to see the hands of the Lord grabbing above this, controlling actually this situation. And the moment we think something is out of His control, we are in illusion. With the moment we think, no, this happened not because of something else, because of a different reason, other than the desire of the Lord, that is illusion. It is ultimately the desire of the Lord that is moving every blade of grass. And that is sending me every difficulty, every situation, every quote-unquote nice thing, and every quote-unquote bad thing. And ultimately, in one sense, the Lord never sends us bad things. He only sends us things to make Him closer, to bring us closer to Him, if we are sincere. If we want things that will bring us further away from Him, He will also arrange this. So, those are my thoughts, and I'm a person who is always, not always, but quite often confused or afraid to make the wrong decision. Because I think again, there's an I here, and that's in a sense means ego, means that I am thinking that I will control my life. And I think if I make this decision or that decision, then it will affect my happiness in the future. And that may be right to some extent, but before saying I should say Krishna. So what do you want, Krishna? What would please you, my dear Lord? And with that mentality, with that consciousness, I try to make my decisions. And I may make the decision, and I have certain doubt that I don't know if this is the right decision. But we make a sincere prayer, and we go on with our life. And when the intention is correct, the decision can never be wrong. Right? If my intention is to please the Lord, then that's already perfect. And then the reaction may be bad, like I was talking. The topic came a couple of days ago, like, I wanted to do something good. My intention was good. And I did everything according to the moral principles, according to the law. And I followed everything like it should be. And eventually, I get the bad reactions for it. I get a fine for it. It was a financial fine. And I'm still, and this topic is just now haunting me. It's like an anxiety for me. I need to think about this and what to do now. And at the beginning, I could have just not done anything. Yeah. And I could have just acted arrogantly or just not talked about it. But because I wanted to do things properly, I went through the formal processes and wanted to respect the law and the laws of the state, the laws of dharma, whatever. And eventually bad reactions come to me. What is this? Like, come on, Krishna, are you there, or are you just, how to say this, just a story? Do we believe actually that Krishna is there? He is controlling our lives, or is it just a nice... Yeah, bad things happen to good people. Yeah, definitely. He gives us a challenge to grow. And if the challenge is above our capacity, He would not give it to us. The Lord doesn't want to break us. Pardon?
Maybe He's giving a chance to learn.
Yes. The life is a school. That is why we are here. To learn. If we knew everything, if we were perfect, we would not be here. If we knew everything, we would not be here. But because we have a lot to learn, we are now in this condition, in this body. And being, like, geschleudert, how to say this? Being spun around in this washing machine. Spinning around this washing machine until we learn our lesson. So, yeah, the Lord wants us to learn the lesson. The Lord doesn't want us to suffer. So, could you talk in the microphone? It's not because of me, just because of the live stream. Okay. Yeah, there is like a mute button. Very good.
No, maybe God is giving you an opportunity to learn and help in the future for many people, because you are doing some for a good cause. You have started this and you have difficulties now, but it's a way where you can learn, and if people in future want to do the same thing, you have experience in solving them quickly.
Yeah, I hope everyone is. Yeah.
At the end, what I believe, I mean, it's what I believe, or what I was taught is like, if you ask for a help, he will give a puzzle to solve it. And you feel that you know the difficulties, you solve it, then you can do that level of work anywhere. That's what I believe.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing. Definitely. That's why we give credit to the Lord for everything.
Yeah.
Because ultimately we cannot even talk. We cannot even walk. We cannot do anything without the mercy of the Lord. And some people can't talk, or some people can't walk, or some people are struggling and suffering. So we should never take credit for our abilities, our capabilities. Yeah. Okay, anything else? I think we will skip the exercise for today. Pardon? Exercise. What was the exercise? You can take it with you home. Mariana Mataji. No, she was asking what is the exercise, but if you have something to say first, please do. I have a question first before you talk, for you. Why am I sitting here and you're not sitting here? How come that I'm allowed to give a lecture while you're in the audience? It should be the other way around.
No.
There is some lack of organization here. I need to talk to Chinmoy Krishna Prasad Prabhu.
No, it's about qualification, not about
Hare Krishna. What's
if you're
your
talking
question?
about status or something like that. It's not about that. You just said so, didn't you, in the lecture? So I was just thinking, when he asked the question and I didn't know how to answer it either. I was thinking about it, and then I was thinking, and then I got some answers, and then you started speaking, and you said exactly what I wanted to say, and I was thinking, hey, the same Lord is over there also. He's giving us the same thing, because it's like I don't know these things normally, like how do we get this? We get it from the Lord, I was thinking, hey. Wait a minute. Same guy is there, So funny. One more completely unrelated thing. I was just thinking, in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, the whole Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Radharani is not mentioned once, the name Radharani, right?
Right?
And there I saw Radhasya, and I was like, wait a minute, what is the actual translation? Yeah.
Radhase. Radha. Actually, Radhase, having attained perfection.
So I guess it's the long A, maybe, that makes it a completely different meaning or something?
No, Radha is a long A.
Yeah.
No, Radha.
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 Yeah. Okay.
So the name of Radha is only mentioned once in the 10th canto, and it's not even mentioned Radha,
Yeah, exactly.
Shukadev Goswami is hinting
yeah.
about it. But in another sense, I don't know if it's Shukadev Goswami, and it's very interesting thing when I heard it, that actually the name of Radharani is mentioned in every syllable of the Bhagavatam.
Okay.
The name of Radharani is everywhere in the Bhagavatam, in every verse. Right. Yeah. Thank you for bringing up this topic. It's completely relevant because she is everywhere. So.
When you say energy, she's there.
Yeah. Okay. The exercise would have been very simple. Actually, it's not like so deep or gonna bring you into tears, but because sometimes they do. It is like in partners, or I would have done it also not only in partners, also just wrote the things down on the board. Share the things or the qualities in others that would help you respect that person. So what would make you, meditate about this? We can talk about it during breakfast time. What are the qualities or the things in a person that will make it easier for me to respect him or her? And these things actually are what makes these things which are valuable to us. They define what is value for us. Like they define what is valuable for us. Those qualities we are looking for in a person that would make us respect him, or remember a person that you already respect. I hope there are many in your life that you respect. And meditate, why do I respect these persons? Because of certain qualities. And those qualities are actually what is the most valuable in our life. And those qualities should be not superficial. Not because she dresses nicely, or she sings nicely, or he sings nicely.
So when you respect a person based on the quality, does it fall in the kirti, niti, or riti?
No. You don't need to go in the pretty nitty.
It doesn't fall because it should fall in one of the categories.
It does fall in one of the categories. And usually if you respect somebody out of formality, again out of his position, you're not thinking much of the qualities of that person. But we want to focus on the inner qualities. And that means
Because kirti is here.
there is no kirti. There's either pretty, nitty, or
Niti, not kirti.
pretty. Pretty purvakam. Pretty means love.
Love. And for kirti, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't read this, I heard it, so I hope I'm spelling them correctly also. But I think pretty is love, so I think it's good.
Kirti, how kirti
Yeah.
makes you respect.
What's the meaning of kirti? Action? Doing?
A glory.
Glory.
Kirti is very powerful.
No, the three types are pretty, out of love, niti, out of duty or morality, and riti, out of rituals. Grantharaj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki, Shri Prabhupada ki, Jai. Nitai Gaura Premanandi.